My name is Brenda McHugh. I'm a psychotherapist, teacher and co-founder of the Pears Family School, which is an alternative provision school for children and their families with emotional and behavioural difficulties. In this video, we'll be looking at the topic of emotionally based school avoidance and how schools can work with parents and carers whose children are experiencing it. Emotionally based school avoidance, or EBSA, is a broad umbrella term used to describe children and young people who have severe difficulty in attending school due to emotional factors. This often results in prolonged absences from school. Now, EBSA is not truancy, school withdrawal or school refusal. We talk about EBSA rather than use these terms because we now recognise it's not a deliberate act of defiance by a child or young person, but a complex area linked with an individual's mental health and well-being. There's no one reason why children and young people avoid school. It varies by individual and is usually caused by a combination of various factors and their interaction, rather than a single cause. Some reasons could include to avoid uncomfortable feelings brought on by attending school, such as feelings of anxiety or low mood. To avoid situations that might be stressful, such as academic demands or even social pressures. And to reduce separation anxiety, or to have feelings acknowledged by significant others, such as parents, carers, or other family members. And maybe to pursue tangible reinforcers outside of the school during the school day relating to the child or young person's interests. Our approach to EBSA at the Pears Family School recognises that the problem is not located solely in the child, and solutions need to be sought by wider active involvement with the systems around and including the child. Children can come to see the risks and stress of attending school as greater than the support or resilience they may have. Often pull factors that promote school non-attendance overcome the push factors that encourage attendance. Addressing this needs a team effort where parents and carers, teachers and children work together to gain trust and a better understanding of vulnerability and risks, as well as possible strengths. It's also important to understand the needs and emotions of parents and carers when their children are experiencing EBSA. Parents and carers with children experiencing EBSA are vulnerable to social isolation, anxiety, and a feeling of hopelessness. Many feel blamed and are exhausted and describe feeling alone, isolated, with no one they can trust to talk to in school. They tell us they have felt sad or even angry that their child is no longer part of the school family, missing out on important things like trips, invitations to celebrations. And these complex feelings and adjustments can have an impact on everyone's mental and physical health. At the Pears Family School, we create a number of contexts and curriculum opportunities to tackle the isolation. We invite parents to attend school with their child, and we run training and coaching for parents and carers, and we work to build those trusted relationships with them. It's vital for these trusted relationships with parents and carers that we are working towards a common language and common goals. And with each family, the ambition is to reach a shared understanding about the difficulties the child is experiencing. To do this, we create a personal care and learning plan with the pupil, family and the mainstream school, where everyone is clear on the roles and responsibilities. And this plan is reviewed weekly within the school with the key staff, parents and the pupil. And having this plan in place means that we're all on the same page and can approach the issue from a place of shared understanding, which in turn means the child will feel more supported by everyone around them.
My name's Hannah and I have 3 boys, one of whom has been attending the Pears Family School for the last 9 months. He was experiencing emotionally based school avoidance in mainstream, and it reached the point where we needed to find a different way of addressing a problem and strategizing around some interventions to help him. So for me as a parent, the impact of all the difficulties that my child has faced has been a feeling of isolation, a feeling of disconnection from the common experience when other people are talking about their students choosing GCSEs and where they might go on to do further education. I was struggling to support my child to be in school for a full day. He wasn't able to go on residential trips because they just decided they couldn't cope with him. And all of this means that he and I were excluded from the milestones and the rites of passage that go along with being part of secondary school life. And that becomes very difficult to manage as a parent, I feel, because people don't really understand what you're going through unless they've been through it themselves, particularly if the outward manifestation of this process is a child that is defiant or disruptive. There's a lot of judgment about how parenting might have played a role in that. So being amongst people who understand what you're going through, have been through what you're going through, being in a community that is very accepting is something that's really helped me. I felt a huge connection and a huge sense of belonging being at the Pears School. Being at the Pears School was an education in a different way. It was about finding the words to describe what was going on and communicating them to somebody else. And in order to do that, he needed to trust the people around him, which he did really quickly, actually. They're very compassionate, they're very kind, they're very fair. You know, it's not about letting things go, but it's about decoding the behaviour and understanding what lies behind that. As my son is transitioning back to mainstream, one of the key pieces is in finding staff within the mainstream environment who are on board with everything that we've been doing here, who understand these parameters of success, who understand what anxiety might look like in my child and how that might present, who can be trusted and trusted responsible adults in the mainstream setting to help continue the work that we've been doing, to be there for my son so that he has somebody he can refer to during a school day, whether things are good or bad, either way, just somebody who will listen and who has an understanding of what might present itself. And for me as well, somebody who I can email, who I can update with things that might have gone on at home over the weekend, or issues that have arisen, petty and small as they might seem. They can really affect the outcome of a day at school.